Well, this all started when it's a number of things that have happened, but the catalyst has been the murder of a young man in our community, 15 years old, Jaden Pierre. But the deeper, more systemic issue is that too many of our young people don't have anything to do. So there's just been this movement that's been happening all across New York City called the takeover, right? And the takeover, it's about young people who are bored and they take over a park, they take over a mall. They're looking for ways to be engaged. They're looking for opportunities for themselves. And so this is a result of, you know, community organizations and leaders coming together and saying, you know what, we have to do something about it, right? Like we are past the point of speeches and ceremonial kinds of things. We need to really take some action and be about solving a problem. And so that's the foundation upon which we came together. And as a result of that, we were able to partner with people like Chris Gardner, the gentleman from Pursuit of Happiness, George Patterson, who's the executive senior director for My Brother's Sister Keeper in New York City, and the New York City Department of Education, to say, let's come together, bring schools, communities, and whatnot together to solve a problem on behalf of our children.
I can tell you why I got involved in why jobs is because I asked young people, like, what did you want? And the two things that came up the most, and I asked about career, I asked about family, travel, everything. And the two things that came up the most was I want to prepare for college and I want jobs. So you have to give the people what they're asking for, right?
Yeah, so we had the opportunity to have this come to our borough for Queens. As I understand it, it did go to Brooklyn. But the sense of urgency here is not us just as community leaders. We're parents, right? We have children. We have vested interests. We recognize that access to jobs and access to opportunity is the primary economic driver. When you do not have resources at home, lack of resources breeds frustration. Lack of resources within the family household breeds frustration. Lack of opportunity, it's a vicious cycle. So we collectively decided to get together and say, with all of our influence and all of the things that we have access to, how can we make sure that this opportunity goes far, wide, and fast, to like a direct shot into our community, to give them a boost of immediate opportunities to start working, and even better, a career path into the union, which we know unions in this day and age are very hard to get into. So what we are doing is really intentful and on purpose.
That's right.
I think you said something important, that it is, we're parents, right? And parents need jobs too to raise these children, right? So if you can't provide for your household, you can't lead. It leads to a number of problems in the community. And I think that's something we address as well, that it's bring your mom, bring your son, bring your dad, bring whoever in your household needs the opportunity, because it's for 18 and over. So it solves a lot of different issues.
Yeah, I think we have to have a wraparound, holistic approach of healing and helping our community. In Brooklyn, it was started, just with the schools, but we're taking it a step further, saying that, it's not just about the students that's in the school, but their whole family. That this could be a generational wealth breaker, for some. And even once you get into the union, you can still become an entrepreneur, because now you have a skill set, that is in demand and needed.
Yeah. I got to say, one of the things that I'm proud of is the fact that you have different organizations, different people who have their own unique organizational identity, vision, and purpose. But we've come together, right, to say, let's form this coalition, and together we could solve the problems in our community. And just within this small group, the level of power, lived experience, expertise is phenomenal. So we hope that this catches on, right? that you know, this is not the solution, it is a solution. Right? And there are others that are doing things in our community also, you know, to bring about solutions to this problem. And we hope we just get into this solution-driven mindset, right, where we are coming together and coalescing around solving a problem. Because I'm going to say this, our young people are very intelligent and they're very organized. They know how to put together things, right? When they want to do something, even though it may be self-destructive, if you look at the skill set it requires to organize a takeover, right? If you look at how they're using social media, how they're coalescing around an agenda, we can learn a lot from them. So now that we know we have the wisdom that life has given us, let's in turn borrow some of those examples, cut through bureaucracy, move past disunity, and work collectively on behalf of providing solutions to our community.
And I like to also say this coalition is so important, not just because of now what's going on in the world, but in the Black community. It's important that we work together. Because when we work together, together we win. And just us coming together in other organizations, also, we realized, you know, oh, you think you know someone and know everything that they have, and then we're just bouncing ideas off of each other and making it even more big and impactful. I think that's the part for me that is so important too. We know that we're a people of greatness. Our forefathers and ancestors went through worse, you know, but they were together, and that's how you got to Tulsa, Oklahoma.
And I just want to add, for me, what's really important is getting them in the jobs, making sure that they have a living wage that's comparable and competitive, making sure they have access to health care so they can take care of themselves, their bodies, all of the things that are going to meet them at their prime time, and that they are fully suited and have all of the access to these things. It's not only about getting the job. There are stages to employment. You have to first be given an opportunity to get in the door in a very competitive landscape. You have to be able to demonstrate your value. You have to then be able to assimilate in the job environment and exercise a skill. And then you have the audacity to want to grow. What does that look like? How do you advocate for yourself? How do you ask for more money when it's time to ask for more money? You need to have benefits. You need to have all of these things. So for me, our influence and our impact, what we have access to, we don't even have the option. This is our responsibility to bust down opportunities and break down doors to make sure that our young people have direct access to jobs. Yeah, they can look forward to seeing us and a whole coalition of people behind us, because there are many more hands in this coalition that you don't see here today. And I want to be clear, there were hundreds of hours of work behind the scenes that have went into May 22nd. So I think that they can expect to see the collective group of leaders who really care and opportunities that are available to them.
They're going to see love.
I love that.
On display.
I love that.
Right? From a practical standpoint, they're going to go there, and if they show up, they're going to walk away with a job. That's the activity that they're participating in. 500 guaranteed spots. You get there, it's first come, first served basis, but when you are there, you're guaranteed a job as long as you go through the application process and clear the screening. Right. So we see that. I see love as an action, not a noun. This is going to be love on display. They're going to be encouraged by the community. When we were earlier recording our video sharing the information, we said, you know, we're here for you. But really what we're saying is we love you. We want to see you succeed. We want you to know that life has things to offer you, that you're valuable, that you're important, that you're worthy, that you're great. And too many times, I'm talking to the young people who come, don't get to hear these words of validation from the older people in the community. And we want you to know that despite what it appears, there are people out there that are very concerned about your future.
Agreed. I think the demonstration of collective unity is something also to be applauded, that, you know, people in the community, and again, I'm sitting amongst leaders who are very influential in spaces beyond, and the ability to put all of that aside and for us to come together and to look at the common thing that we're trying to accomplish without any kind of competing or any grandstanding is to be applauded and possibly to be modeled in other boroughs on how we recognize that the solution is not going to come and find us and that we are the solution.
Yeah. We have a lot of, you know, I'm just sitting here, you said common. I'm just sitting here thinking about, we've all worked with each other
That's right.
in different forms of
Yes.
capacity, but not as a collective, fragmented. You know, we've worked with each
Right.
other. I don't know how many times I've been to the educators brunch
That's right.
with Black Resource Network. I was honored by Jamaica Branch of NAACP. I've been on 94.7
Yep.
with Pat Robinson at least twice. Like, and then I'm sure they can talk about the different times
That's
that
right.
they've interacted. But now we're saying with a very specific, focused, purposeful agenda, we're coming together, you know, to really address the things that impact our community. So I'm just glad to see
Me too.
being in such great company with such great people.
Same.
So how are we measuring success?
Getting a job.
What does that look like? So we walk in, the event happens, the day is over. What is success for this?
I think I am a firm believer on seeing it through, right? So we are going to hold those who we are working with that have these job opportunities. We're going to stay close to them to make sure that this process is moving. So we're not just doing a grandstand pictures for the day. I want to know that if you need help with an application, we'll create a space to do office hours. If you need help with something, we're going to make ourselves available to make sure that people get through this process successfully. And then we're going to follow up with the people that are offering these opportunities for data and metrics and to make sure that they're actually placed, right? So we're going to hold ourselves accountable to seeing it through, not bringing them to and seeing it through.
Yeah. And to your point, Aaliyah, we've already have an infrastructure for data collection.
Yeah.
And it's aligned with the New York City Public Schools data piece. So we will be able to see, like, now for me, it's like, okay, 500 young people show up or more. That's to me success.
Yeah.
But then how many of those young people actually get placed is another measurement.
That's right.
So we're going to look at, to Pat's point, not just who comes, but then who at the end of the day actually, how many young lives will we able to impact as a result of this process?
Right. And I also think some of it is going to take a little encouragement. We might get people there that might get discouraged, right, within the environment that we may have to help along. So I think we are all willing and able to do that, have expressed that we are willing to do that because we want to see them succeed.
Yeah, we're not going to let anybody fail. And I think this is another important piece of the coalition building, all of the organizations and the resources that we have to help them have those wraparound resources. Because sometimes it can get intimidating because a lot of the stuff is technology. You got to pay attention to your emails and make sure you're able to upload. Do you know how to upload? Do you have the documents? One of the things is having a New York State ID. How many young people, 18, that's not driving, have a New York State ID? So, you know, those are some of the things that resources and help that we could provide. We don't have a choice at this point in our community. We can't let you fail. So we want everyone to come, tell your family and friends. This is an opportunity that normally doesn't come through. Like Pat said, it's hard to get in unions. Just to get the apprenticeship, it's hard. They're creating a pipeline strategically and intentionally so that we can succeed in our community.
Oh, shout out to Dr. Katora Hardy.
Oh, man.
Yes.
He is the
A big,
Queen's
that's right.
lead for My Brothers, My Sisters
yeah.
Keeper. who's an integral part of this
Very.
whole process. Don't want to leave her out at
Right,
all. She's
right.
key.
Right, definitely want to acknowledge her. And just, again, there's been so many hundreds of hours that have gone into this. So what you see is a small representation of a collective of people who are overly committed to making sure this happens. And my wish and goal is that not only that this is successful, but then there are other organizations that are going to see what we've done and going to come to us and say, we want to open up a direct pipeline for you to get folks into these jobs. That's the hope.